Gentlemen, what's your name?
Troy Hammond.
Troy Hammond. A question from the audience on my phone here, and they are asking, where did you get your tattoos from?
Well done. Well done.
That's Graham Bloxham standing in for Sean Rush. I'm on Hotline, hot seat, and hot everything. And I've got this gentleman. What's your name?
Troy Hammond.
Troy Hammond. He's agreed to come on the show, and we've got our calendars a bit mixed up. And this is Graham on Hotline with Hot Sarah. Was that? Can't say that.
Sarah Jane.
Sarah Jane in the hot seat. And so, Troy, what are you doing?
So I'm the founder of Newtown Army, which is an IT recruitment company specialising in tech startups throughout New Zealand. But we have a business here in Wellington. I also have the podcast, the aptly named the We Fucking Love Startups podcast, which is the #1 podcast in the country for startups. And we've also got a new podcast that we just launched, Table Talk. So I love it already.
Whereabouts can I listen to these podcasts?
They're on Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you get podcasts.
Awesome. How'd you get that?
You're a Wellingtonian.
I am adopted Wellingtonian, so I've been here 17 years, but I'm from Melbourne, if you can hear my accent a little bit.
You when you're in Wellington, you're doing business, is it mainly government business or?
No, I don't do much at all with government. I do mainly tech startups and like smaller, faster growing startups throughout Wellington and the country.
So do you have a problem with getting paid? Because only 1 out of 10 works, isn't it, in the tech startup world?
I've only ever had one company not pay my invoice, so yeah, we've been pretty lucky that we choose the right companies to work with.
And if I said the name Serge Van Dam, what would you think?
Yeah, Serge and I are good mates. I'm not sure if you saw our online video battle a couple of months ago that we had a bit of fun with, but yeah, he's the godfather of the Wellington tech startup community here.
Got any questions for Troy?
I took that you're from Melbourne and you're here in Wellington. Are we similar? You know how people say that, oh, we're like another Melbourne.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So if I wanted to move over to Melbourne, would I be like, oh, I'm just in Wellington?
Yeah, it's just a bigger version of Wellington. And, it's a mixture of Wellington and Auckland because it's like traffic's a fucking nightmare. But yeah, it's like bars and restaurant culture and there's just as many Kiwis in Melbourne as there is in Wellington. So.
Yeah, everyone moves over there.
Yeah.
You're not going over there, are you?
No. Maybe.
I've got a question from the audience on my phone here, and they are asking, where did you get your tattoos from?
Got them from a guy, Dean Sacred, in Sacred Tattoo in Auckland. And so yeah, I've got lots of tattoos.
How long did it take?
Each arm was about 6 sessions of like 6 hours a pop.
Wow.
Is there meaning in that for you?
Yeah. So they're like the flowers symbolising the kids. There's a phoenix here that sort of talks to like starting my life over again in a new country, and there's one here, which is how I started, which is a rose on my heart. I had a daughter that passed away, and it was Matilda Rose, and so I started with getting a rose on my heart, and then because I'm OCD as fuck, I had to get the whole arm done at once. So, and then the other arm's just a fun one that I just thought I'd have like a dragon for no reason at all, because I like the Japanese art. So.
Very interesting. Thoughts with you for your daughter. And,
yeah, thank you.
Sorry, we've forgotten.
You don't have another hat.
We've just done something with the hats. We've sort of lost our way a wee bit with the hats. So with Wellington, is Wellington picking up? Is it getting better, busier, quieter? What's the story?
Yeah, it's definitely improving a little bit, but it's not fast. I think like to survive to 25 is the general consensus, and then. I'm in the tech startup community where I recruit in. There's green shoots sort of popping out and it's starting to get a little bit better. But the government's still pretty tough. There's not many jobs out there. The police are doing a restructuring in today, and so it's tough. And especially though when we're in a bloody place right at the moment, you see it, you feel it. It's a lot quieter. And so I'm a big advocate for more people coming back to the offices and working again, because it's going to drive everyone in Wellington, Ospo, retail, tourism. So.
We've got a question from the audience table, but I'll put that question on hold for a second. When you look at companies like biotech companies or Zero, you talk about exponential growth. Is that take us through the metrics of how many succeed, why they succeed, and what do you look for? Are you investing yourself?
Yeah, there's multiple reasons on why they fail. Largely it's funding. Is a big traditionally in New Zealand, but that's changing a little bit. Like we've got Blackbird, who's a big VC firm. They're doing a conference in Wellington, Sunrise Conference soon, which is like their love letter homage to the industry, which is cool. I think that the main thing that you've got to be crazy to be a startup founder. You've got to have a problem that you passionately want to solve, and so you've got to commit to it. And we tend to have Wellington, because traditionally government pay a lot more, corporate pays a lot more down here in Wellington. So a lot of people are in higher paying jobs, and so coming into a startup where you only eat noodles for about 6 months of your life is challenging. So
You got any ideas you want to start any businesses up, Sarah Jane?
Oh, I could. I don't have any ideas yet, but it's in the future.
Is there any questions you've got about beaches or clothing?
Oh
or-
yeah, we took a beach in Wellington.
I like Lyle just because I like surfing.
Surfing,
So,
yeah. We had another one on the show that said Lyle Bay as well. So
Surfing.
it's a popular destination.
Yeah, except your beaches are so bloody cold. The water is freezing.
Yeah.
Wetsuit.
Yeah.
She was it.
Yeah.
Me and him, Lyle Bay, wetsuit.
Question from the,
Yeah.
what's the question from the cameraman?
Yeah, Kabadiga, welcome to our Motu. I've been to Australia a few times. I never really felt totally safe, you know. Are you scared of the wildlife over there?
Spiders.
I mean,
I
have
think
you,
when
have you
grow
been
up-
bitten by a shark or
No,
mauled by
a lot of sharks.
rhinoceros
surfing.
or...
I've seen like lots of snakes and lots of spiders, but it's like when you grow up with something. I mean, I was scared of weta when I got here.
Do they have rhinoceroses in Australia?
No, not
In the zoo,
not
yeah, I
urban
think so.
areas.
Does
One
anything
escape.
scare you about Wellington?
Politicians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
politicians.
More snakes.
Yeah.
Have you been punched by a kangaroo?
I haven't been punched by a kangaroo.
No, that's all right.
It would make a good YouTube video
Yeah,
though. They go
yeah.
pretty wild on YouTube.
In your interviews, have you ever had anyone say anything that's just completely blown you away, emotionally or?
Yeah. I've had lots of podcast interviews that I've been moved by, and I've had lots of podcast interviews that I've had to edit little bits out because someone said something a little bit verbose or unethical or that they shouldn't have. So the one thing, have you guys ever had a Samantha on the podcast? Samantha from he's tech founder, payroll software. He told me a story once of when he was starting his business. He had no money and he was driving to just do as many sales as he could. And he was up in Auckland trying to sell, and he put his car into the car park to go off and start selling. And then he realised that he couldn't get his car out of the car park because his car kept failing. He didn't have any money left in his account. And so he sat there and cried for like half an hour in his car, and then decided to stand up, go out and keep selling his product. And someone actually said, "Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna buy it." And they gave him a check right there on the spot, and he was able to take that check to the bank to go and get some money to get his car out of the car park. And so like that for me is just the epiphany of like what a startup founder is. Like someone that just, no matter what life throws in front of them, they're just gonna keep moving forward.
Sounds like a whole lot of bullshit, really, because I don't think we even have checks in New Zealand anymore. And is that pay source?
So it was Pesos. It was
Yeah, well, wasn't that started in the last sort of 6 or 7 or 10 years or something?
It was the previous company with Pesos, and so yeah, he's not a young startup founder like the young kids of today.
We definitely look out for bullshit in the startup ecosystem, but we also look out for people like yourself who support it, drive it, and underpin it. So thank you for coming on Hotline with Sarah Jane Seddon and myself. And I'm waving my arms around trying to be a bit like Sean Rush. And
The real star.
I appreciate you for coming on today, Troy. That was Troy Evan. Well, Hotline.
Well done.
Can't beat Wellington on a good day or even a bad day too. You can't beat Wellington, it's a cliche, but nonetheless it's true.
The hotline, the hot seat, and the hot guy. Right next to me is Chris Uvalis, a real estate extraordinaire.
What is your favourite suburb?
Why should someone choose you?
Hats off to you. Sarah Jane.
Can't forget that.
Welcome to Hotline. It's Friday afternoon. Here we are at Courtney Place. It's coming out sunny. I've got my tulip on. Give some money to the Cancer Foundation for Tulip Friday. We're at San Diablo. I'm Sean Rush. I'm with Sarah Jane Seddon. And in the hotline, the hot seat, and the hot guy, right next to me is Chris Uvalis. Uvalis? Yeah, Uvalis.
It's a tricky one.
So, Chris, you're a real estate extraordinaire. here working for Low & Co. Focusing on East my old patch, the Eastern Ward.
Eastern suburbs.
Okay, so we're in where's hot in the Eastern suburbs?
Well, everywhere's hot in the Eastern suburbs.
Awesome
We
place.
got Miramar, we got Strathmore, Lyle Bay, Kilburnie, they're all great spots.
What about Roseneck, where I live?
Well, Roseneck's another area. I don't know about
Or Island
Roseneck.
Bay. Where I live. Well, where I live.
Yeah, lovely areas. They're all great areas.
So how long have you been in real estate, Chris?
I've been there 15 years now.
I've got a few questions from the audience. Whereabouts is your suit blazer from?
Oh, I don't even know. Let's have a look.
Wow,
Ted
look at
Baker.
that on the
Oh,
inside.
oh, it's got some
Ted
pins in there
Baker
too.
and some pins.
Ted Baker. And so you've talked about a lot of suburbs here. What is your favourite suburb in Wellington?
Eastern suburbs. I live
Just
out
all
that
eastern
way.
suburbs?
I live out that way, so I
part?
love it. I'm in Kilburnie.
Yeah, what part?
Kilburnie.
Kilburnie.
Okay.
Love Kilburnie.
How do you feel about the Wellington City Council's redevelopment of Kilburnie Park?
Oh,
And
please don't get me started.
okay,
Please.
there's a little message, Tory.
We won't go there, please. If I start, I won't stop.
It's a great shopping area there. It's old school
old
high
school.
street shopping where you've got everything. Things are cheaper than most other places.
Yeah, we got
And-
banks, we got all sorts.
Yeah. So, most people who work in a specific industry know a few things that the general public don't. What is there about real estate about, the little secret little things that you do that to make the house look better or
Yep.
things?
We-
You want to
we-
share something with us?
It's no secret. We always do the best. We always try and present the property at its best.
Yep.
But one thing I would say, when you are looking for an agent, ring the agent who's on the listing. That's the key. And
Right.
he will tell you
Or she.
exactly what the house is, what's happening. He's the guy that knows what's happening.
Question from the camera. In 15 seconds, why should someone choose you?
Well, we're the biggest brand.
Not we, you.
Me. I'm a local. I know the industry inside out. I've lived here. I've grown up here. Went to school at Wellington College, so I know the industry inside.
And he's in the hot seat and
And
hotline.
And he hasn't had a hot hat
He's
yet.
got a hot hat.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah Jane.
Can't forget
good.
that.
Hey, Chris. Well, thanks very much. I mean, I don't know if I don't have anything else. Sarah Jane, anything else for Chris?
Nah, I'm good. That's
Wonderful.
all done.
Really awesome, Chris. I mean, I know my sister's a real estate agent in the East, and but there's a lot of work that goes into getting a house together. Difficult clients as well. They're not always straightforward. So hats off to you. Hey, looking forward to a real good summer, and hopefully we'll get some new Wellingtonians into the city, and we'll survive to thrive in 25. I think, isn't it?
we don't have to wait till 25.
Yeah, I love it. All right, cheers, Chris.
Wonderful. Cheers, guys.
Sean Rush here on Hotline with Chris. You
Yeah,
got
that's
us.
it. Well done.
And
Sarah Jane Sillon. Oh, she was here too.
You can't beat Wellington on a good day or even a bad day too. You can't beat Wellington, it's a cliche, but nonetheless it's true.
And the hot lady that's in the hot seat, about to get a hot
Hot
hat,
hat.
is Urmila Barner. Urmila's a retailer in Newtown. Urmila, you're not just, you stood for the Wellington City Council last year unsuccessfully, but hats off to you for doing it. Now,
How did you feel after the cycle lanes had come past your business? They'd taken away your car parks, affected your business. You'd had a can of Coke thrown at you. Your Google reviews trashed for a Green Party person to come up and ask to borrow some car parks off you.
thank you.
Hi folks, welcome. It's Friday afternoon. We're at Hotline with the hot people and the hot topics of the day. I'm Sean Rush. I'm here with Sarah Jane Seddon, and the hot lady that's in the hot seat, about to get a hot
Hot
hat, is Urmila
We
Barner.
won't forget this time.
Urmila's a retailer in Newtown. Extraordinaire. Also, Urmila, you're the head of a new business organisation. Do you want to talk us through that?
The Independent Business Residential Group in Newtown. Yeah, we've been formed. We do specific projects generally related to the cycle lane
Oh,
and
you build
business
cycle
events.
lanes.
Well, if I got a truck, I might do.
We don't build them.
Member of the audience here. Carry on.
Yeah, so that's what we do. And if residents have got concerns, they drop in, come see me at the shop.
So it's residents and businesses.
It is, yeah. So it's a collective of people that arrive in Newtown, not just resident in Newtown, and we reach out to people in like Thorndon, Courtney Place.
Yep.
So yeah,
And you run the grocery store, is it called?
yeah, I operate the grocery store. I've been kind of doing grocery store stuff since I was 4 years old. So it's like.
So your dad's run that for decades.
He has.
Yeah.
He's been in business 57 years.
It's opposite the countdown.
It is.
We have a question from the audience
Oh,
here.
already?
Do you still sell cigarettes
Not very many, but yes, we do.
Oh, that I used to smoke. Love them.
those days?
Oh my God.
Only in America did you actually sue someone because I didn't tell me I was bad for me. Anyway, but yeah. But I do a lot of cycling these days, so okay.
Yeah, don't smoke while you're cycling.
Urmila, you're not just you stood for the Wellington City Council last year unsuccessfully, but hats off to you for doing it. Now you've got a master's degree in something.
No, I've got an undergraduate degree
an undergrad.
in statistical analysis from Victoria in Wellington.
Good old Vic.
Yeah.
Statistical analysis. So when you read some of the reports that about, surveys and so on, you're able to look and see what's going on really behind the sort of narrative.
I like to understand the story behind the data, the numbers, to find out if it actually really makes sense, whether it's fiction or non-fiction. That's my thing.
We're not here to beat up the Wellington City Council, but do you often find that maybe there's a little bit of massaging going on?
Yeah, there is a bit of massaging going on. There's a report called Changing Lanes. And
Changing
in that
Lanes.
Changing Lanes report, they were saying that Wellington's recovering based on FPOS data. But everybody knows you can't get a bank loan on FPOS data, so why use it?
So would that be a mix of staff, nurses, doctors, but also visitors?
Yeah, visitors to Wellington that are coming from Australia, South America, because they're all kind of residing in Newtown.
Right.
So that's quite interesting talking to them and thinking that
I mean visitors to the hospital.
this is what I'm trying to say, that these people come from overseas to work in the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Come through our stores, patients, cancer patients, people waiting for hours.
Do you have folks who are obviously doing it tough with their relative or whoever maybe in a bit of trouble?
It's quite a sad situation. Seeing people come in with their family members that are in strife, and you can really see it. Sometimes I wander around from the checkout and give people a hug.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, Urmila, any thoughts on City Council starting again next year?
No, I
No?
think the reason why I stood was just to say to the council officers, I'm here, don't forget me.
Well, I don't think anyone's going to forget you, Urmila. Really loved your story about giving folks that needed a hug, so I think the cameraman could use a hug.
Quick question, just to switch it up. How did you feel after the cycle lanes had come past your business? They'd taken away your car parks, affected your business. You'd had a can of Coke thrown at you. Your Google reviews trashed for a Green Party person to come up and ask to borrow some car parks off you.
Well, I think I'd probably laugh as hard as Sean and call them a bunch of hypocrites and make t-shirts. Wellington t-shirts
Oh,
about
Julian.
them.
We got to get
Woke
Julian.
and
on the show.
broke. Yeah.
Oh, woke and broke.
There you go.
Julian
Yeah,
Bender.
that's what I think.
Yeah. All right, Urmila. Well, thanks so much. Good luck with the business. Keep giving out those hugs. Like I say, cameraman's next. Thanks for coming on. That was Urmila Barner, the owner of, or the proprietress of the general grocery store in Newtown. I'm Sean Rush. Sarah Jane Seddon. That's it for Hotline with the hot hats and the hot people. Have a good weekend, folks.
Thank you.
Can't beat Wellington on a good day or even a bad day too. You can't beat Wellington, it's a cliche, but nonetheless it's